every single human, when you talk about investing in her, I want to say, no, it's investing in all of us. Because if you invest in me and ensure that I'm healthy and and not every woman is going to deliver a baby. I recognize that. But all humans are delivered by a woman. And if you ensure that she has proper, well-researched, state-of-the-art healthcare during her pregnancy and postpartum, you've made everyone healthier. And let us not forget that. We're investing in the future.
Let's talk about investing in her. Our guest is passionate about empowering women to be financially sovereign and to make a positive impact in the world. Azin van Alebeek is going to share the importance of investing in businesses that empower women to manage their health, build their wealth, and live in a cleaner, safer world. Let's jump into the conversation on the GSD Factor podcast with Azin.
It's really wonderful to be here.
We are going to jump right in and talk about investing in her and why it is so important and how we're going to help women get shit done. Tell our listeners today, why is investing in her so important right now?
Well, I'm going to pull back for a moment. I think it's always been important, and right now it's crucial. And why is it important? A few different reasons. And I'm going to start with some easy reasons. One is because we are on the precipice of having a great wealth transfer. So if you haven't heard about this, currently women hold 1/3 of all assets globally. By 2030, which is only in 5 years, women are set to hold 2/3 of all assets. And for me, that just sounds amazing, right? It's going to come into our hands because of transferred through various different reasons, but death, inheritance, the gender mix. It's an opportunity because we're going to have all that money, but I want to make sure that we are prepared as women to use those funds wisely, smartly, strategically, in ways that support us. So timely right now because we are bringing all this funds into our hands. Why it's also important right now is because for the first time in so long, we're able to talk about health issues that are very critical to women. Now, Misha, I don't know if you, but I've been at dinner conversations with people I've met just that evening where the men are saying the words vaginal discharge. And they're not physicians, by the way. They're other investors. They talk about menopause. They know about the symptoms in ways that are equal to how I hear my female peers speak about it. So we are at a point where there is this acceptance and understanding and knowledge has been building, and it's in common parlance to talk about women's health. So strike while the iron is hot. I think that's a saying. So again, right now, many people are talking about health issues where 6 months, let's say 10 months ago, a year ago, this was not the case. And it certainly wasn't 10 years ago. Obviously, another issue that's on everyone's heads too is the current political climate is such that women are feeling even more marginalized than we ever have been. And so my point of view is don't whine, don't complain. Figure out what the rules are right now, figure out what the climate is, and find our path. And if others aren't going to do it, so be it. Let us join together collectively and invest in her.
Let's get shit done.
Let's get shit done. Exactly. No whining, no complaining. Just figure out the game board, figure out your best route, and do it.
And be ready to pivot when we need to.
Exactly. Be ready to pivot. Because, and I talk about this now, and I've always had this in the back of my head. I'm a continual learner. It's something I pride myself in. I hope I've instilled that same ethos in my children who are now young adults. But a continual learner is like an LL. The idea is every day I'm getting new information. I'm feeding it into the system, into the machine. I readjust, I recalibrate. I understand in this moment now, what is it that I have to do? Because this moment is different than yesterday, different than last week. So being able to adjust, to pivot with new information is something I think we all need to do. And unfortunately or fortunately, the speed at which we have to do this has been increasing.
What I love about always be learning is what we talk about here at the GSD Factor podcast. Of one of our attributes is being inquisitive, and it's asking those questions. But we also really want to be imaginative and to dream big and say, what is next? Where can we push the envelope? Where can we get shit done? What I love about what you're sharing with investing in her and the importance of investing in her, be it her health, her wealth, is there is this shift happening and we have to be ready and we have to be prepared and we have to be educated to be able to take that to the next level with this amazing momentum that is coming very quickly.
Yes, some of my favorite adjectives to describe people: curious leads the list, and being inquisitive, which goes back to my first point with this wealth transfer. With all this money coming into our hands, I am focused on ensuring, and this is, I wear many hats, as do you. One of my hats that I wear is ensuring that women have the advanced financial literacy they need and that they want to invest financial dollars in smart ways. When we talk about invest in her, for me, it's much broader than financial investing. I really wish people in general, women in particular, would think about investing as a term, as a verb that they actively engage in every single day, because I know they do, but it's just not the nomenclature they give to what they're doing.
Talk to us a little bit about the statistics that you see in the venture space, in the PE space around women investors, but also female founders.
Yeah, oh, they're appalling. I will touch on them. Venture capital over the past 5 years that I know for sure, venture capital funding to fully female founded teams is 2% or less. 2% or less. Let's pull back on this though, because what I want the audience to understand is whether or not you participate in venture capital as an investor, as a founder, as an ecosystem builder. If you've never heard of the term before, venture capital, which what it means is it's funds, it's money that investors deploy, invest in, you can say give to startups, young, very emerging companies that may or may not have some revenue. So that's the very beginning capital allocation. Why is it important to you if you've never heard of it? Well, it's important because it changes behavior. It funds future innovation. It brings to life solutions, products, services that are going to change your life, hopefully for the better. Facebook, I'm sure most people use. Uber, most people use, right? Or Lyft. So many companies are venture backed and they change how we interact with the world. Let me then make the link. It's a really important asset class, and generally there's a bias. The founders are solving problems that they know that are important to them. If 98% of the founders are men, you can very well assume menopause, fertility, period care, hormone trackers, cardiology care for women. These are important sectors that are under-researched and underdeveloped because the male founders are focused on other things. And so by women not being involved here and only 2% of funding going to female founders who are disproportionately solving problems that affect women, we've lost out. And I hope I've explained that in a way that people are getting angry, because it truly makes me, it's sad. It's more than sad to think that this future is developing without our thumbprint, without our imprint. How can we improve health outcomes for over half our population? I'm going to give you a little stat. In venture capital, there have been funding. There's a study done that I found online, and I'll trust it. I hope you will too. But as I tell everyone, trust yet verify. ED, erectile dysfunction, which clinically affects 10% of all men. And I know all the men out there who are listening say, oh no, everyone's affected by it, all men. I'm like, okay, clinically 10%. You have menopause, which clinically affects 100% of women who are at that age. Funding to ED versus menopause is 10x. X the dollars has gone to a condition that affects 10% of the population versus 100% of the population. That's absurd. It's such an imbalance. We've talked a lot about from the founder side and some of the different sectors that are funded. 85% of the decision-making GPs, that's general partners, those are the ones who make the investment decisions at venture capital firms. 85% are men. So again, when you think, and I think it's logical, you are going to build and invest in problems that you have knowledge on. You should be investing that way. The problem is if you don't have full representation of genders, skin colors, backgrounds. I even talk about left and right-handedness. If you don't have full diversity, you are going to be skewed into a very narrow area of investing. The other important constituent group that people don't talk enough about in venture capital investing at large, in venture and in specifically, is the LPs, limited partners, the investor base. And it depends at if you're an angel investor, venture, PE. I would say on average, only 20% of the investors are women. And again, why is that important? A few reasons. One, LPs are an important voice towards influencing how the fund will invest. They have their personal mandates. They have their institutional mandates. How should this fund invest can be greatly influenced by its LP base. Venture and PE have delivered outsized returns, around 2x what you can find in the public markets. And so if women aren't participating, aren't investing in this asset class, they're again losing out. So not only are their innovations not being funded, but their wealth creation is less than those who are participating, which is primarily men.
I think the other tie-in is what you started off by saying is that in 5 years, we're going to hold 2/3 of the wealth.
2/3.
I want you to talk about investing in her is smart. And why is it smart? Because I want you to share some of the experiences that you have seen and heard and observed coming from when you invest in her. Here are the returns that you're going to see when you take that time and those resources to invest in her.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Misha. There is a dichotomy that doesn't need to be separate. There is purpose, investing with purpose, investing for what you could say is social imperatives. It just makes my heart feel good. It's correct that one should be investing in women. I'm like, yes, that's true. But our title is venture capitalists, and we can be conscious capitalists, and yet we still need to be capitalists and consider this is a money-making endeavor. While there's purpose is involved, profit is also involved. And investing in her, investing in these solutions that benefit her are economically, financially sound. And I like to often lead with that because I want people to understand we're not out here doing this because it feels good, because it feels right, because it's charitable, because we want concessionary returns. Absolutely not. I am first and foremost doing this because I think there's money to be made here. From statistics, while women founders typically receive 2% or less of funding, they represented 24% of exits last year. Women founders are much more capital efficient. She will deliver 2x returns with the same amount of money. She delivers her exits faster. Why is this? The cheeky part of me wants to say, well, duh, because we're that good.
We get
I
shit done.
Yeah, we get shit done. The parent who is driving carpool late in the evening as she's tossing back snacks to the kids, as she's on a work call at the same time. And she's probably doing one more thing, but because she's driving, I don't want to add that in there because she's still being focused and safe and like delivering the people to their locations safely. But why is that? It's what I call an arbitrage opportunity, and I'm not sure that I'm using that correctly, but hear me out. The innovations that we're funding right now are what I call low-hanging fruit. They've been underinvested, under-researched, or overlooked for much too long, and yet they have huge market potential. They will have huge impact on health outcomes and wealth outcomes. They're almost like first-order problems. They're the easy in grasp, but so many of us have been, and I want to say literally dying for, right? Figuratively and literally dying for this type of care and the solutions that we're investing in.
What are some of those innovations that you're starting to see that are really exciting that you feel this is going to move the needle? This is going to make an impact on her future.
I'm definitely focused on the menopause side and the the growth and the traction of Alloy Health, which is an investment, a startup that we've invested in at Emmeline Ventures. So I'm going to definitely give them a call out. But they're not the only ones in this space. There's a few, and there's enough room for all of them to succeed, honestly, which is great. But the ability to get prescription only hormone replacement therapy with a virtual telehealth visit is phenomenal, game changing. I'll tell you of some of the background that you probably know, but in 2002, I believe it is, maybe 2003, there was a study done with a big announcement that HRT was dangerous for women. There was an increased risk of breast cancer. From that point in time, for the next 20 years, women who were going through menopause were no longer prescribed HRT therapy. It had been very successful, highly, great results prior to then. But then the study came out, said, nope, can't do it because of this increased risk. Well, there's since then been some research done, and the study may have been faulty. The results may have been overblown. And yet, this cohort of women for 20 years, I am included in there, we were not advised to take HRT when it was the right time for us to do it. Now, the issue with this is it's long-term health benefits. I will be at greater risks for a handful of conditions because I didn't get this proper care. But now I can go to Alloy. I don't have to go get in my car. I don't have to find the doctor who knows about menopause because, by the way, the amount of training a physician in medical school gets on menopause, nominal, if any. And some of it has been wrong. Now I can have virtual care from physicians who are specialized in menopause, who I provide them my other health conditions. Then within 3 days, once we have the visit and they clear me, I get the medication delivered to my door. That's incredible. And I'm on a three-month subscription. I don't have to think about it anymore. So for me, that's huge. I would say the other area that has been a focus for me has been in hormones in general. So hormones definitely affect you as you age, but women are affected by our hormones our entire life. And there's many jokes about it, but the point is, our fluctuation of hormones is like a roller coaster over our lifetime. And even at some points of time, that roller coaster is during a day. Male physiology does not experience it in the same way. They have no appreciation for it other than the jokes, oh, she must be hormonal. You're like, damn straight I am. Like, you try and deal with what I'm dealing with right now. Yet I have to smile and still get shit done. So I've been trying to meet with as many companies as I can, startups who are innovating in the space of hormones. It's fascinating.
What I love is that you are giving us kind of this macro view, this micro view, and it's the education around why investing in her is so important. What are those innovations that are coming forth that are really exciting that, to your point, are low-hanging fruit, but also they just haven't been available to her in the last couple decades. And so how do we bring those to market?
There's two points I want to give people out there who are listening. Thank you for being here. Lost productivity due to menopause. A Mayo study calculated it 2 years ago, $1.8 billion to employers. It's not a feel-good issue. Let's turn this into an economic issue. $1.8 billion of lost productivity in the US due to menopause conditions that are, like, in many instances, very preventable and treatable. And you can adjust, you can pivot to ensure that your workforce doesn't have to experience these negative experiences, which are going to affect negative and lost work outcome. So that's one point that I wanted to make. And secondly, and I think oftentimes people really forget about this, which is silly. Every single human, when you talk about investing in her, I want to say, no, it's investing in all of us. Because if you invest in me and ensure that I'm healthy and and not every woman is going to deliver a baby. I recognize that. But all humans are delivered by a woman. And if you ensure that she has proper, well-researched, state-of-the-art healthcare during her pregnancy and postpartum, you've made everyone healthier. And let us not forget that.
We're investing in the future.
We're investing in the future, and we're the future-bearing vessels.
So beautifully said. Azin, one of the ways that you are impacting this ecosystem is the co-founder and general partner of Emmeline Ventures. Talk a little bit about the thesis and the perspective and why Emmeline was born for such a time as this.
Yes, thank you, Misha. I am one of 3 co-founders and currently 2 GPs at Emmeline Ventures. We invest early stage, which means there's some revenue, but not yet a million, let's say, in annual revenue. We focus on tech-enabled, and I say that so that people can understand if you're in venture capital, there needs to be scalability. Tech enablement oftentimes is what is going to influence that ability to scale quickly and largely. So, but getting to the pure thesis, which I think this is where you really would like me to articulate, I'm going to say it 2 different ways for the audience because have noticed it lands differently with different people. I like to say we invest in solutions that support her overall health. And I added overall in there because I want you to think about her health as being her physical health, her mental health, her financial health, and her environmental health. Those 4 legs of health are all intertwined. They all affect one another. It's ensuring that all of those are invested in, that we're taking care of her health holistically. That's what helps her thrive. When she thrives, everyone does. I like to think macro, as you mentioned, health, overall health, and now the micro. Here are the 4 specific areas that we invest in. Another way that people like to think about it is we invest in ways so that she can manage her health, build her wealth, and live in a cleaner and safer world.
Amazing. If you were getting in an elevator and had an elevator ride with someone, what would you say to them to get across to them the importance of investing in her and not just her or now?
I say we invest in her overall health. Most women get it immediately
Yes.
and they understand why now.
Yes.
And it's because it's not going to be tomorrow, and it
Right.
certainly didn't happen in the past. We are, I think, collectively as a gender, we've had enough. And you can see that there's a swelling of 2 concepts: the swelling of our fed upness. I think I'm making that a word. We're fed up.
I like it.
And it's risen to a point, and I feel this. I have friends who are my age, younger, older, in their 20s. Like, there is a sense of things have not been working for us as women. No time like the present to change it. And we feel that swelling of our powers. Despite it seeming like we don't, I think we're recognizing that in fact we do. And you see groups working together. You see cross-functional groups working together, cross-industry. There needs to be this collective, like, join forces. Oh, and by the way, let's go back and we're getting money. Women are earning more than we have in the past, and we will be getting this asset boost. So, to the question, what would I say to a woman? I would just say, very simply, you know how important it is and what a lack there has been. And you have the opportunity to do something now. Join me.
And what do you say to the man riding in the elevator that maybe is just not aware?
Right. And often this is oftentimes for the men. I just say, sir, this is a great opportunity to make some money. That is also true. It is a great opportunity to make some money. It's not an area that you know very much about. Let me be your guide. I am going to help you get into this area. I'm going to help you understand what are the important conditions and how they actually feel. I'm going to introduce you to the founders. I'm going to take you on a journey, if you will. It's large, it's exciting, it's interesting, there's great innovation, and we can probably use some of your experience, of your capital,
We're going to get shit done.
and we're going to get shit done.
Is there any other nuggets that you want to drop?
I alluded to it. I often give the examples for women. You invest in your family, in your children, in your home, in your appearance. You invest all day long, and you just need to understand you are an experienced investor, and now you just need to think about yourself as a financial investor.
Because you're right. We are making financial decisions day in and day out. I think you're absolutely spot on in that as women who aren't official investors, they don't think, oh, I'm equipped to do this or I know enough information, but we are. As receivers of the 2/3 of the wealth that's coming, we're better equipped than we realized.
There's one other nugget. I think it's really important for women to understand that they have the experience in other ways. They know how to critically assess. They know how to back channel diligence. If anyone's had a teenager, you really know how to back channel diligence. I want women to understand they know and have so much more than they think they do, because I know we all second guess ourselves. Which brings me to the other point I really want to leave people with is I know myself, and Misha, maybe you do this as well. There's often that saboteur voice in our head that asks us, are you well qualified enough? Do you know enough? Do you have enough experience? Do you satisfy all 10 of the requirements for this job? Stop that voice. Just stop it. Instead, ask yourself, why shouldn't I? Simple as that. Of course I should. Understand who it is, what it is that is limiting you, because oftentimes it is that our own voices. And I want us to change it and bring the voice of a dude who says, why the F not?
It's activating our confidence to go, I have gotten shit done. I will get shit done. And I will continue to get shit done.
Perfect. Exactly. High five me. Bam.
Thank you for listening to Get Shit Done. Are you an influential leader that has a dream to write a book and put your words out into the world? Reach out to us today so we can help make your book dream a reality. Let's get shit done.